off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Johnny! Ooh, what is it, man? Can I suck your dick? Ooh, what is it, man? And this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com! This is off the script. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 235, part number 2 for Off the Script on your Summerslam weekend. In fact, I've been going with the gag of tonight is the real Summerslam. And tomorrow night is Summer Scam. Because it doesn't really feel like a SummerSlam. NXT Takeover feels more like a Summer Slam. I will be doing a review of the show if I am not physically there. I've been teased with potential tickets. That has not happened yet. And I will see what I will be doing after my little meet and greet. But tonight, NXT TakeOver, whether I am there or I am at home watching it, I will some way get a review up for the channel because I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to that. But tonight is indeed NXT TakeOver. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa 3 for the NXT Championship. We have Adam Cole versus Ricochet for the North American Championship. Mustache Mountain versus the Undisputed Era for the Tag Team Championship. We have Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler for the Women's Championship. And then EC3 versus the Velveteen Dream. If you guys want my predictions on everything NXT for TakeOver tonight, you guys can go check out my preview and predictions video in the annotation that you see in the top right corner. Go and check that out. Thank you guys so very much. If you missed yesterday's Off the Script, we talked about in depth my real feelings on the Dave Meltzer situation with Peyton Royce and his disparaging comments, body shaming. Dave Meltzer fucked up. Dave Meltzer really didn't relay what he really wanted to say, and instead he said something he should not have said. And we go into that, but I do think, though he was wrong, I do think everybody at the same time was being very hypocritical. And I do think at the same time everybody blew it out of proportion. I don't think he meant to say it. I don't think it meant, or it came off in the way that he said it. But people blew it out of proportion. It was said, he fucked up. And we talked about that, and I gave my thoughts on that. Plus, almost 2 hours, man. The entire episode of Off the Script yesterday. SummerSlam preview and predictions, the very best way that I possibly can, getting you guys ready for the second biggest pay-per-view of WWE's calendar year. That is all in yesterday's podcast. If you guys have time this weekend, go and check it out. It is there for you before SummerSlam. I am, as you guys are probably watching this video or you're seeing it hit your sub boxes, I am actually in New York City, Brooklyn right now. As you guys watch this or listen to this video, you may very well be on your way to come see me while listening to this on the train. I am going to be at the 4th Avenue Pub. And if you guys want to come on out, man, takeovers tonight, let's have a few craft beers, man, because I only drink good shit. I'm not going to pick a bar with shit beer. So if you guys want to come on out to the 4th Avenue Pub, I will be there with several other goons. Come on out. Support, hang out for a little bit. If you guys are going to TakeOver, great. If not, come on out and hang out anyway. Most of you guys are probably going to be in and around Brooklyn. If you're going to be here for SummerSlam, you might be going to some of the meet and greets that WWE has lined up for the weekend. You might be, visiting somebody else that's currently holding a meet and greet. Whatever, man. Come on out, say hello, have a beer with me. It'll be fun. The 4th Avenue Pub. It's on 76 4th Avenue. I'll be there from 2 to 5. There is happy hour, and there is a damn good beer list. So please come on out. I'll leave you guys the RSVP down below in the comment section. Please, if you guys are coming, make sure you guys do RSVP so I get a decent amount of heads that I'm going to count for, and I can gauge how many people are going to be there, man. So thank you guys so very much. Hope to see you all out there, and I will be wearing my Summerslam 2018 t-shirt specifically for this weekend. Tomorrow, we got Justin LaBar and Ticket Drew in the house, man. Wrestling Reality presents Justin LaBar. I am going to be his special guest. This is my 3rd year in a row doing this with him. It is fantastic. Ticket Drew is going to be moderating the entire thing. We're going to be doing a live panel discussion. We're going to be doing a Q&A. We may even sit down, all 3 of us, and do a table for 3 between all of us. A mock table for 3, but this time a little bit less drunk than Pittsburgh. So we'll see what happens with that, man. So please come on out. That's at 205th. That's going to be from 3 to 6 right before SummerSlam. So there is absolutely no better place for you to be than 205th with me, Ticket Drew, Justin LaBar, and several goons. So come on out. There's going to be wrestling-themed drinks. And LaBar actually named something after himself. It's called the Absolute LaBar. I wonder what that will entail. And there's going to be wrestling-themed food, man. So come on out, 205th, between 3 and 6 p.m., and it's only a few blocks away from the Barclays Center. That is tomorrow afternoon. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications, man. We just hit 95,700 plus, which means by the end of this weekend with SummerSlam, I am predicting that we will be over 96,000 subscribers, and that would make us less than 4,000 away from 100,000, man. Unbelievable. I was very, very skeptical if I would even do 100,000 this year. By the looks of it and by the pace that we're on, it looks like we will be hitting that this year. So I am very excited about that, and SummerSlam is going to be big, and I'm going to try and do the best work that I possibly can for you guys as always. Please subscribe, hit that bell down for notifications. It's good stuff, man. We got some good stuff here. Raw, SmackDown, NXT coverage every single week. We have Off the Script every single weekend. There's never a weekend without Off the Script. It is my bread and butter. So thank you guys for all the support, man. And I really appreciate all you guys coming on out to support me on this journey called YouTube. I do have some fine sponsors helping me along the way, man. Barbershop Window is the home. They have given JD a home to sell his merchandise. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. There's that Summer Scam t-shirt that is available now on Barbershop Window, man. That plus 17 other designs are available for you, man. When you talk about podcast merchandise, there is no better merchandise. There's no better look to a t-shirt than Off the Script, man. Please go and check that stuff out. Great way to support the show. The Summer Scam t-shirt actually comes in 2 colors. One that you see there in black, and then it comes in a baby blue with black trim. So if you guys want to get one or both, there you go, man. 2 different color designs. It is the only t-shirt on the store besides the first ever t-shirt that went up there with the original Off the Script logo that comes in a different color other than black. So please go and check that out. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. If you guys want to save some money, enter code BSHOP20 on the website at checkout, and you're going to save 20% off every single purchase, man. So please go and do that. Great, great, great way to support the show, and I hope to see a lot of you guys tomorrow at the 205th bar with LaBar and Ticket Drew wearing some merchandise, man. And I hope to see some of you guys today meeting me at the 4th Avenue Pub wearing some off-the-script merchandise. Harrys.com/script, man. I had one of you guys actually reach out to me yesterday and said, you know, JD, I picked up Harry's for the first time, and you were not kidding about it being the smoothest shave that a guy could possibly have. And he picked it up, he got the shave gel, and he was incredibly pleased with the end result after using Harry's, man. I'm telling you, Harry's is great. I usually end up cutting myself with a lot of other razors, and that's because I have sensitive skin, and it just sucks. When I use Harry's, man, I'm telling you, I've used Harry's for 5 months. I have not cut myself once using Harry's razors. And I want you guys to feel the effect that Harry's is going to have on your face, man. Seriously. Harrys.com/script. They're going to give you a free trial shave set because not only do they believe that you're going to stop using whatever you're currently using now and join the Harry's army, but they're going to give you a free trial shave set because that's how great they feel their product is, man. They believe in their product so much that they're giving you a free trial shave set before you fully introduce yourself to the world of Harry's, man. You're going to get a blade, a handle, a razor blade case, and the foaming shave gel all for free. All you guys have to do is pay the shipping and handling, which is less than $3. It's going to be delivered to your front door. It's going to be in your mailbox within 2 or 3 days, and you're going to throw away whatever is in your medicine cabinet right now for your shaving needs, man. I am telling you. I don't put my name to anything unless I believe in it, and I believe in Harry's. Harrys.com/script, and I guarantee you're going to have the best shave of your life. Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript. This is another fine sponsor of the podcast. Very, very good friends of the podcast. They've been sponsoring me for about 1.5 years now. Audible, going to give you 1 month free of their service plus 1 free audiobook of your choice. And you have over 200,000 choices to choose from. Now, if you guys have already signed up for this, you can't do it again. So please, if you have an alternate email and you want to get another book, you guys can do it that way. If you guys want to just spread the word of Audible through a friend or through a family member or your girlfriend's folks, someone that you go to school with, someone that you work with, tell them, listen, it's a great way to support my favorite podcaster, my favorite wrestling personality in the YWC. Audible giving you 1 month free and 1 free audiobook. It's a great gift. So please go and sign up if you have not done so, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Thank you guys so very much, man. You guys are fucking beast. And let's hit the fucking news today, man. I'm going to run through everything that I got. And then tomorrow, we're going to go over one final push for SummerSlam. We're going to go over all the top stories and speculation leading into SummerSlam on tomorrow's episode of Off the Script. I want to start off with this one, though, man, because this does not surprise me, and this story is actually making people a little bit concerned as to what the main event of SummerSlam on Sunday night will actually be. Brock Lesnar is set to have a closed-door meeting with Vince McMahon on Sunday. Now, we're almost to SummerSlam. We are 48 hours away, and that should mean the most that everything is ready. WWE should have every match outcome planned. WWE should have this entire show planned from bottom all the way to the top of the card. There isn't a lot of time left to add anything new, as both the final Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live for the go-home shows have already aired. Therefore, it's reasonable to believe that the entire card and everything that comes along with it is set for Sunday night. However, it seems that there might be something up in the air backstage, as usual, with Brock Lesnar, and it's a pretty big deal. According to Barn Burner's Fired Up podcast, there is a backstage meeting planned between WWE and Brock Lesnar before SummerSlam goes on the air. Now, there aren't any specifics on what the meeting will be about, but there is a possibility that it will result in Lesnar retaining the title and working both the WWE and UFC going forward. And this is a direct quote from the Barn Burners Fired Up podcast. Apparently, I quote, apparently Sunday around 4 p.m., Brock Lesnar will have a closed-door meeting with head honchos in WWE, maybe Stephanie, Triple H, definitely Vince, but there is a closed-door meeting planned for 4 p.m. I don't know what that meeting will be about, but if he retains the title, you can expect Brock Lesnar will be working both WWE and the UFC. He is having, and I've been told by 3 sources on this, he's having a closed-door meeting with WWE management hours before his matchup with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, end quote. Now, the last time Brock Lesnar sat down with Vince McMahon behind closed doors was before WrestleMania, and he signed a small, short-term extension with the company to get him through SummerSlam, which ends on Sunday night. Now, this could very well be Brock Lesnar negotiating a new deal with the WWE to keep him on board and bring him back during WrestleMania season. This could certainly be Brock Lesnar negotiating a new deal to keep the Universal Championship and very well go on to the UFC as Universal Champion and then try to win the UFC Heavyweight Championship, and we get a dual sport champion that represents both UFC and the WWE. Brock Lesnar makes more money, the WWE gets more notoriety and spotlight and publicity out of it, and Vince McMahon himself makes more money off Brock Lesnar. I don't know what else this meeting could be about. Either way, Brock Lesnar has already stated he wants to work both WWE and the UFC. But having a closed-door meeting with Vince McMahon and other management of WWE, it really throws a wrinkle into everything that people are expecting at SummerSlam. A lot of people, even though what we seen at Saudi Arabia, the Greatest Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania did not turn out what everybody expected it to be, people are still predicting Roman Reigns to walk out of SummerSlam with the Universal Championship. I said yesterday on my SummerSlam preview and predictions, I am not going with Roman Reigns. I'm not. I think having Brock Lesnar win this is the best possible way to, minimize the damage that could be done with Roman Reigns winning this match and the Universal Championship. Now, all signs point to Roman Reigns, but when it comes to Brock Lesnar, I feel like Brock Lesnar has Vince McMahon's balls. I feel like he has Vince McMahon's balls in the palm of his hand. And he's going to negotiate, and he's going to end up retaining the Universal Championship. I'm not going with Roman Reigns. I think if you want to minimize the damage that could potentially be in the main event of SummerSlam, which right now, if Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar goes on last after a 5-hour show, I don't think that match is going to end well at all. I think New York City is going to absolutely destroy the entire main event. But Brock Lesnar winning the Universal Championship match on Sunday, going into Monday Night Raw, which he's booked for. He is already scheduled for Monday Night Raw in the Barclays Center. So if he loses to Roman Reigns and loses the championship, what purpose does he have on television if he's not going to be on television after SummerSlam? What is there for Lesnar to do? So, in my mind, if Lesnar is being booked for Monday Night Raw, if he was done with the WWE, he would not even be on Monday Night Raw. WWE would move past this. Lesnar would go train for the UFC. He would get ready for his USADA testing, and then he would concentrate on Daniel Cormier. Because that's where my mind is at. But if he's scheduled and already booked, per the Barclays Center listing, to be at Monday Night Raw, why are people going with Roman Reigns to win this match? This is why I am predicting Brock Lesnar to win at SummerSlam and then go on to lose the title on Monday Night Raw, because I think that would be the biggest pop. And God knows Monday Night Raw needs something to have happen that spells the word excitement. Brock Lesnar retaining the title at SummerSlam, showing up on Monday Night Raw, and then having Braun Strowman cash in on Monday Night Raw would be the best way to go about it, and then turn Roman Reigns heel. And then with this supposed Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, partnership, I think that should materialize on Monday night. Because people are expecting it to happen on Sunday. People are expecting Braun Strowman to cash in the briefcase on Sunday. Don't give the people what they're expecting. Have it happen on Monday. The way WWE books these shows, just look at SummerSlam's card. WWE SummerSlam is so lackluster that they put no effort into building this show. And WWE, it's been reported many, many months ago with the pay-per-views and the way, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live are going to become more important with the television deals that they've been getting for both of these shows, or are planning to get for both of these shows. Both of them are official with NBC Universal and Fox Sports. The pay-per-views are actually less important than what happens on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. So WWE would probably be more prone to doing the more important things on Monday night than they would be on SummerSlam. Like I said, people are expecting it to happen at SummerSlam. Monday Night Raw is something that needs unpredictability. It needs some sort of excitement. So if you do what you need to do on Monday instead of Sunday, I think it would be better off not only for everybody involved, but the WWE. Now, with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, WWE can have Roman Reigns align himself with Paul Heyman. I still believe that we could be seeing a swerve after the swerve. I honestly think that Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar have some sort of working relationship right now, and Paul Heyman's about to swerve Brock Lesnar. I think they're working together, but the note that Paul Heyman handed Roman Reigns was something that Roman Reigns was about to take and willingly read. If Roman Reigns, and I didn't mention this yesterday, if Roman Reigns wanted nothing to do with Paul Heyman, he would have been more aggressive in saying, Paul, I want nothing to do with you. But he sat there and he stood there in the ring and he listened to Paul Heyman introduce him. Now, if you're Roman Reigns and you're listening to that, that doesn't send chills up your spine? You don't want to be associated with one of the best minds that this business has ever seen? If Roman Reigns was so against what the letter said and he wanted nothing to do with Paul Heyman, why didn't he rip up the letter right in front of Paul Heyman? He should have grabbed the letter from Paul Heyman and said, Paul, I want nothing to do with you. But he was about to read the letter. What if the letter was somewhat of the swerve? What if the letter was a warning saying that I'm going to do this to you now, but at SummerSlam, I got your back. I'm trying to pull the wool over Brock Lesnar's eyes right now. I think that's what we could be seeing. I mentioned this on Monday. This is not new information. I mentioned this on Monday. The letter and whatever we seen could be the swerve before the ultimate swerve. And I honestly think if WWE wants unpredictability and wants to somewhat salvage this main event, I think the fans would actually swallow it a lot easier if Brock Lesnar walked out of the Barclays Center on Sunday with a championship than Roman Reigns. I think that's the best way to go about it. Braun Strowman can cash in, and then Roman Reigns can pretty much unleash an attack on Brock Lesnar, send him back to the UFC with Paul Heyman, and then he could attack Braun Strowman, and we have a heel Roman Reigns in the making. But Brock Lesnar being advertised for Monday Night Raw, sitting down with Vince McMahon specifically hours before SummerSlam. We've seen this same story at WrestleMania. I don't know what they're doing. We all know Vince McMahon loves his Roman fucking agenda. He loves that Samoan dick. But what's more important to Vince McMahon? Roman Reigns? And the reaction that Roman Reigns is undoubtedly going to get? Or a potential landmine of money that Brock Lesnar could make by holding both the Universal and UFC heavyweight championships? So we'll see what happens, man. But this is very, very interesting. And just that wrinkle is going to make the main event a lot more interesting on Sunday night. What could have been and what could have made the Daniel Bryan versus Miz match a lot more interesting was the unpredictability of Daniel Bryan and his contract status with the WWE. Daniel Bryan says it is very likely he stays with the WWE. Daniel Bryan was on the Sam Roberts Wrestling podcast to promote Sunday's SummerSlam pay-per-view. As usual with his previous interviews, he is very fun to listen to because he's very honest. I did not get a chance to listen to it yet. I will probably listen to it on the train going into Brooklyn today. Among other things, Bryan also talked about being cleared to return shortly before WrestleMania. He talked about flying to Dallas from Dubai, India, and then flying to Pittsburgh, getting cleared to return. I found out I was cleared at 9:30 p.m. on a Monday. SmackDown Live went on at 8 p.m., so it was less than 24 hours, he said. I was getting punched in the face probably in 24 hours, and in 15 minutes, I was cleared. He noted that he would do regular training, but he wasn't training for return. But luckily, he maintains his cardio, so it wasn't a problem for him to get back in ring shape on short notice. On his thoughts on wrestling a full schedule, I don't want to do a full schedule, he says. And I think WWE's been very gracious in working with me to not do a complete schedule. Bryan said that the company has some shows that they would prefer him to be on, but they give him the time off so that he could be at home with his family. Bryan said he likes about 50 to 100 matches per year, but it might turn into a little bit more because of the nature of WWE's schedule, and he realizes that fans want to see him. Bryan said that he has no interest in wrestling 200 matches in a year again, and WWE is working with him on that. Bryan was asked if the chances are highly likely that he would sign with the WWE. He said, and I quote, "I think at this point it's 90+%. I will say it's likely I will sign with the WWE." He added, "The reality is that the probability, I have not re-signed yet, but it could happen as soon as the end of this week, or it could be a couple more weeks, but it is very likely," end quote. Dave Meltzer has been saying for weeks that his contract negotiations are a little bit complicated because he expects Bryan to sign a new deal. So don't expect him to be popping up in at All In, New Japan Pro Wrestling, G1, Supercard, WrestleMania Weekend, or anywhere else in the near future. Bryan also went on to talk about, with Sam Roberts, his role in the story mode for WWE 2K19 and his feud with The Miz. So Daniel Bryan very likely to stay with the WWE. This was not really a surprise to anybody. It's been reported with several different people who are within the industry that Bryan is going to resign. There were a few people that had pretty much said Bryan is going to be a very big focus of the WWE video game. And just by that account, they are going to keep him on board and that he's going to sign. Now, I understand a lot of people want Bryan to go to the Indies. They want him in All In. They want him to pretty much have a hand in what's going on with the whole flow of what's happening on the independent scene with Omega and the Young Bucks, and just have a new world order, in the Indies, and really bring WWE to the brink of competition for the first time since the days of WCW. But WWE is not going to let Daniel Bryan go, for two reasons. One, for the big reason of him not wanting, or them not wanting him to go to the Indies, because, like I said, Daniel Bryan could be a huge focus on any promotion, and he holds the keys to what could very well be competition for WWE. He is the change. He himself is the key to change that the wrestling industry would fully undertake. And WWE does not want that. WWE has gone out and signed literally everybody that they possibly can who is a free agent so that they don't have any influence on a New Japan or a Ring of Honor because they're feeling the heat. WWE might not put off that they're worried, or Vince McMahon might not put off that they're worried, but they are keeping an eye on the fact that All In sold out in 29 minutes. They are keeping a keen eye on the fact that G1 Supercard, no matter what type of weekend it was, WrestleMania or not, that they sold out in 16 minutes. 16 minutes. People want an alternative. People are fed up with the fact that WWE is forcing them garbage every single week. Just look at SummerSlam's card. There is nothing to be excited about out of 13 matches besides 2. And WWE knows that these guys are breathing down their neck. They don't want anybody stepping on their toes. And if they let Daniel Bryan go, Daniel Bryan opens up a whole new Pandora's box, and they don't want to take the risk. If Bryan wanted creative control slightly on who he wants to work with, give it to him. If Daniel Bryan wants more time at home with his wife and his baby, give it to him. If Daniel Bryan wants to work 50 to 100 matches, 150 matches per year, just to be at home with his family the majority of the time, give it to him. I don't understand why WWE wouldn't give this guy anything he asked for, including money. The only thing I'm worried about is if Daniel Bryan is going to sign with the WWE, which is very interesting, which I think is the most interesting aspect. You know, WWE at any given time can pull the plug on Daniel Bryan. They can be like, well, you suffered under the concussion. We're going to take you off the road, and we are going to take you away from in-ring activities again. And I don't know how long Daniel Bryan will have signed for. WWE, you know, they could pull that plug at any given moment. Daniel Bryan needs to tell them or needs to work out a way where if they want to have him go into retirement again and they don't want him to wrestle if he gets injured again, because the possibility of that happening is very real. Daniel Bryan needs to work out some sort of negotiation with WWE that if that happens, then they could let him go and they could release him from his contract. Because if he signs on for 2-3 years and they want to pull the plug after 1 year and he's stuck with the WWE for 2 years and there's no way out, it's going to be pretty shitty for Daniel Bryan. But right now, listen, I'm happy Daniel Bryan is staying. Daniel Bryan versus almost anybody is a dream match. And there's a lot of guys that I want Daniel Bryan to work with. I want Daniel Bryan to work with a Randy Orton. I want Daniel Bryan to work with an AJ Styles. I want Daniel Bryan to work with a Andrade Cien Almas. I want Daniel Bryan to work with Shinsuke Nakamura. I want Daniel Bryan to work with an Aleister Black, a Johnny Gargano, a Tommaso Ciampa, an Adam Cole. There is so many dream matches for Daniel Bryan in WWE that it's never ending. And Daniel Bryan, yes, the thought of Daniel Bryan going to New Japan and possibly bringing CM Punk out of retirement and Ring of Honor, New Japan getting a CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan main event, or a Daniel Bryan versus a Kenny Omega, or a Daniel Bryan versus a Cody Rhodes, or Daniel Bryan showing up at All In. You know, the thought of that is fantastic. The thought of competition with New Japan, you know, really making a bigger splash in the United States. They would bust the doors wide open. Look at us. Look at us. WWE, we're here. They don't want that. The thought of that is very exciting. And I want the indie scene to thrive. At this point, I don't even want Omega and the Young Bucks to come to the WWE. I want competition. I want another wrestling show on Monday night. And if you don't want that, then you're a fucking fool. You're a fool. Because the shit that we see on Monday, us diehard WWE fans that have to sit and watch this fucking garbage, this filth, every week. This Roman Reigns fucking bullshit every week. WWE is no competition. They put on these shows because they can. There's no thought behind these shows. There's no effort in these shows. Can you imagine another show on Monday night competing with WWE in the form of a New Japan invading North America? You mean to tell me that wouldn't scare WWE shitless? WWE would put their best foot forward. I'm happy the G1 Supercard is happening in Madison Square Garden. You know why? Because it's going to make NXT TakeOver that weekend that much better. Do you think Triple H is going to let this one slide? We'll continue doing with TakeOver with what we're doing. We'll just put on a TakeOver card. People are going to come to TakeOver anyway. No. People who would normally attend and watch TakeOver are going to that show. Because that's a monumental moment. You think Triple H is going to sit around and take this fucking lightly? Oh, no, man. He's getting his fucking Negan bat and he's going to war. WWE is Rick in this case. WWE is Rick and his group. G1 Supercard, New Japan, they're Negan. They're coming down. They're breaking down the walls of Alexandria. They're taking that motherfucker over. WWE better fucking get their forces together and they better round up the fucking cavalry and get to work. I'm glad that show's happening on Saturday because that's going to make NXT TakeOver that much better. I know I'll be watching TakeOver because I'm an NXT fucking mark. And then I'll watch G1 Supercard later on. I'll watch that wherever I can get it. But for TakeOver, I'm not missing TakeOver, man. I look forward to TakeOver more than any other wrestling show during the year. I'm not missing TakeOver. But you know Triple H is going to bring his A-game. And WWE would bring their A-game. I think WWE and the effort that they put into these shows would be magnified if they had actual competition. They're not letting Daniel Bryan go. You fucking kidding me? Just like people think Randy Orton's going to get fired over these allegations. Randy Orton's laughing at these allegations. You think WWE is going to fire Randy Orton? What type of fucking idiot thinks WWE is going to fire Randy Orton over something that happened fucking 13 years ago? Are you out of your fucking mind? If WWE lets Randy Orton go and releases him from the WWE, are you out of your fucking mind what that's going to do for any other promotion? Jesus Christ. WWE is not firing anybody. Anybody. They wouldn't even fire Dana Brooke at this fucking point. Holy shit, man. So the likelihood of Daniel Bryan staying with the WWE, he's staying with the WWE. Plus, he's got the showcase in 2K. Well, why are you going to let Daniel Bryan go and go to New Japan, and then the game comes out October 4th or 5th, whenever the fucking game comes out, and you have a guy who's the focus, the main priority of your game. He's in your story's campaign, and he's not with the company anymore as a contracted employee? How fucking stupid would that look? WWE ain't doing that in 2018. Get the fuck out of here, man. Daniel Bryan is staying with the WWE, and with the people that I talk to who are in the know, Daniel Bryan has already signed with the WWE. He just went on Sam Roberts and kind of ran around the question. He's not going to tell Sam Roberts, yeah, I just signed with the WWE, XX amount of years. He's going to say, yeah, it's very likely. He's going to keep you at a distance. He's going to keep you guessing. Because if he signs with the WWE, then that probably makes his match with The Miz at SummerSlam a little bit too predictable. So that's the reason why WWE really hasn't said anything about Daniel Bryan's contract. They want the match with The Miz on Sunday to be as unpredictable as possible. And I don't blame them. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. WWE doesn't talk about Brock Lesnar's contract because they want it to be unpredictable. If they've come out and said, no, we're not signing Brock Lesnar, or he's not signing a deal with the WWE, that's automatically going to mean Roman Reigns is going to win the Universal Championship. They don't want to do that. They've mentioned nothing about Brock Lesnar's contract because they want to make sure that everything going into SummerSlam is unpredictable. Speaking of Randy Orton, the sexual allegation story of him showing his cock to WWE creative writers back in 2005. The story has now been picked up by major news outlets. The Randy Orton story has been picked up by Fox News, and that may be bad for Orton and the WWE. For those of you who are not aware, former WWE writer Court Bauer talked about Orton pulling out his cock and then touching himself in front of new writers. Bauer alleges that Orton would then tell the writers to shake his hand, meaning his cock, and then threaten to tell management if they didn't. The story was told on a 2012 MLW podcast and was part of a broader conversation on ribbing in wrestling. Over the last few days, it's gained traction thanks to a popular thread on Reddit where a user transcribed the quotes about Orton. On Saturday, WWE released a statement saying that they were looking into the matter. Now, everybody doubts that WWE wanted a major news outlet to pick up this story. Nobody can predict what will happen to Orton, but WWE may be forced to do something if they get backlash from advertisers. WWE will probably have to do something at that point because remember, with the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, WWE would have went ahead with that at WrestleMania this year. And it was because of people like us complaining, instead of going to the WWE, who the fans knew wouldn't listen, though they say they listen, they don't. The fans who were outraged by the past of the Fabulous Moolah went to Snickers, I believe, who was advertising WrestleMania this year. And Snickers caught this, complained, and threatened WWE that they would pull out sponsorship, and WWE nixed the Battle Royal. They nixed the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. Now, if sponsors or Fox pulls out any sponsorship deals or any monetary deal that they have with the WWE because of this Orton situation, then WWE will probably have to do something to Orton, whether it's fine him, suspend him, something. I don't think Randy Orton's going to get fired over this. That would be absolutely fucking foolish for WWE to fire Randy Orton. They're not going to let Randy Orton go. They'll probably fine him, suspend him, and teach him a lesson. You know, it is what it is. They're not going to fire him. But this comes from Carter Voorhees 31, who I'm sure is a pimply, fucking toothless virgin on Reddit because he's got to dig up a podcast that's 6 years old on a story that's 13 years old for whatever reason, because he has no excitement in life. Instead of calling up his girlfriend, yeah, yo, honey, you want to go to the movies? You want to go see Winnie the Pooh? Huh? I'll take you out to dinner. We'll come back. We'll have a good evening. No, let me go on MLW podcast. Let me pull up something from 2012 on a story that's fucking 13 years old and sit here and ruin Randy Orton's 2018. I don't like Randy Orton. He beat up Jeff Hardy. Let's try and get Randy Orton on TV, off TV. Really? Ridiculous. Court Bauer, Randy Orton. I quote, for every new writer that would show up, he comes into the room, puts his hand down his pants, pulls out his dick. I guess that's where Sean's View got influence. Touches himself and then says, I'm Randy Orton. Shake my hand. Oh, you don't want to shake my hand? Are you big leaguing me? That's fucked up, man. Should I tell Vince and Stephanie you won't shake Randy Orton's hand? End quote. The writers would all start sweating and backing up in a corner. The guy's dick is still hanging out. And he would be there cutting a promo on a guy with his dick hanging out for 5 minutes. Court goes on to say Orton was very intense, so you could never tell if he was fucking with you or he really was hot. Now, Court says he was lucky. Randy did it to him on the first day he was with the company at a TV taping. And just as he was about to pull his dick out, Stephanie McMahon walked in and that shit went right back in his pants. Court describes it as a teacher entering a classroom. When asked if he would have shaken his hand, Court says, I don't know. I'm a bit of a germaphobe. Court says this was something Orton did during his entire time, Court's time, with the WWE, and he's surprised Orton didn't get hit with a sexual harassment suit. You know, this is 13 years, and it's really, really mind-boggling how WWE made no mention of this in the 13 years. You know, that's a pretty big fucking deal. You know, what could be taken for a joke and a rib in 2005, in 2018, people are going to get salty. People are going to cry on Twitter. The social justice warriors will have a feast on Randy Orton in 2018. This wasn't a big deal back in 2005. This was a joke. If I'm sitting in that room, you know, I would have taken it as a fucking joke. Seriously, no matter how angry Randy Orton got with me or not, I would have took it as a joke. I'm not gonna fucking sit there and touch his fucking penis. Fuck out of here. You fucking kidding me? So I don't think anything's going to really be, too concerning here. I don't think this is really going to be a big story. I'd be shocked if it really gains any traction at all. It's a fucking rib, you know? This is the wrestling business. I mean, you could fucking listen to the stories of people shitting in guys' road bags and fucking hiding their bag. I don't know, all this other shit, you know? I mean, that's a little extensive there, taking your fucking cock out and having the creative writers shake your fucking penis, touch your penis. I mean, that's a little fucking out there. But, you know, Randy Orton was always a fucked up individual. And that's a young Randy Orton. I'm dropping shit over here because my fucking hands. This is a young Randy Orton. And now he's married with, 4 or 5 kids. You know, he's a loving husband. He's a veteran of the locker room. You're not going to see that shit nowadays. Come on. This was back in 2005. There's no reason to make this a bigger deal. And just let's move on from this, please. Seriously, it's not that big of a deal. And it's a joke. It's a rib. It's like Freshman Friday. Do I think it's fucked up? Yeah, I think it's fucked up. I think, I don't really mind people getting pranked. But, I mean, there's getting pranked and then there's crossing the line. But I don't think much is going to come of this. I really don't. I think this is going to be one of those things that, one day we're talking about it and the next day, it's quickly forgotten. It's a funny story here about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns calls his fans closet lovers. There's no doubt that Roman Reigns is one of the most controversial figures in WWE today. Reigns is consistently booed by fans in arena after arena around the country. He has been receiving treatment similar to that of John Cena in his later years from crowds. Fans take issue with the fact that Vince McMahon and WWE brass are attempting to shove Reigns down their throats. Are they wrong? No, they're not wrong. In a recent interview with Yahoo Sports to promote his Universal title match with Brock Lesnar at Summerslam this week, and Reigns addressed his negative reaction from crowds. And this is what he says, and I quote, "To those that boo me, they are closet lovers." I think they're like closet lovers, to be honest. You can say whatever you want, but it's how you say it that matters. The way they deliver it, they're more connected to me than their so-called favorites. To me, for me to be able to pull on whatever string I pull on, it just goes to show you that there's a deep rooting there. The crowd reaction really doesn't matter to me as long as they're really loud. That's all I really care about. There could be certain moments where they try to hijack shows and all of that, but by the end of the match, they're standing up. So I've been blessed. I really do think that if they love to hate you, they still love you. Oh, Mr. Reigns, how you are so ignorant. And you are so misinformed, my friend. You see, we have no issue with you. You are just a puppet. How Roman Reigns mentions here, for me to be able to pull on whatever string I pull on, it goes to show you that there's a deep rooting there. So, Reigns, are you saying that you are the puppet master and you are stringing us along as if we're puppets? So you're telling me that you yourself are not a puppet. WWE has put you in a prime position, okay? Let me go over this again with everybody slowly. We have no issue with Roman Reigns. We have an issue with WWE pushing the Roman Reigns character in a way that is not working. The reason why we boo is because you are being miscast and you are being portrayed in a false way. That is why we're booing. We want to boo you for the right reasons. You are not over as a babyface, no matter how many people say that you are. You are not over with the fans. I don't give a fuck how loud the reaction is, whether it's good or bad, that you receive on any given evening. You are not over. You're not. You are miscast. You are portrayed in a bad way, in a wrong way, and that is why we boo. We boo because of WWE's ignorance. We boo because WWE does not get it through their skulls that whatever they're doing with you is not working. We boo because WWE pushes you as the most ungenuine fucking piece of shit that they have on their roster. They are portraying you as a babyface, a conquering hero, a guy who stands up for good. Superman. When the reaction that you get is of a Joker or of a Lex Luthor. That's why we boo. We boo because we are sick and tired of being insulted. That is why we boo. We are not puppets. The wrestling fans nowadays are smarter than they have ever been. Closet lovers? No, we are not closet lovers. We are fans of the product. We want to see the product do well. We want to see the product live up to the potential that we know it has. We want to see it thrive. It is not thriving when WWE has you as their figurehead and you are being miscast. That is why we boo. We boo because WWE is ignorant, and we boo because they insult our intelligence and think that we are stupid. WWE tries to brainwash. WWE tries to manipulate. WWE tries to fucking change the narrative and script things the way that they want. Meanwhile, you know, the fans are unforgiving. They don't forget. They don't forget. This is why we boo. And you are there as a puppet on WWE's behalf. So who are we going to boo? Are we going to boo WWE? We can't boo WWE. The only way we can stop any of this from happening is unsubscribing to the network and don't show up to the shows. And the likelihood of that happening is 0. So the easiest thing for us to do is unleash our frustration on you. You're just there because you're a figurehead and you're a puppet yourself. You're going to say whatever you need to say because the company wants you to say that. The company told you to say that. You're a company man. I don't expect anything less. This is the same fucking shit when they have Rollins and they have The Miz and they have Triple H and every other fucking podcast who sucks WWE dick saying, well, Roman Reigns is over. No, he's not. Roman Reigns, isn't he a heel already? No, he's not. How could you look at Roman Reigns and then Tommaso Ciampa side by side? Who's a heel? Is Roman Reigns more of a heel than Tommaso Ciampa? Is Roman Reigns just as much of a heel as Tommaso Ciampa? No, he's not. So where do they come off saying, oh, isn't he a heel already? What are you, fucking stupid? That's you insulting my intelligence. That's why we boo. Roman is not a heel. I love how everybody says, well, what difference does it make? You can't turn Roman into a heel. It would ruin merchandise. Are you fucking out of your mind? Roman would sell more merchandise if he was a fucking heel. Because people like me would buy his merchandise. It's not going to be any different. The people who love him, the people who like him, won't like him anymore. But even if you do like Roman Reigns, why would you go against him? Because he turned bad. Greg Maddux, when he left the Braves and went to go play for the Padres, that doesn't mean I hate Greg Maddux. What sense does that make? I don't understand that. Give me a fucking break. Or anybody. If you're a fan of LeBron James, right? If you're a fan of LeBron James, and he played for Cleveland, and he did so great, and brought Cleveland a championship, and now he's going to play with the LA Lakers. If you're a big fan of LeBron, and you got his jerseys, you got t-shirts, you got LeBron posters, and this and that, he goes to LA. Are you going to fucking tear all that shit down? You're going to say, oh, I'm not a LeBron James fan anymore because he's playing with the Lakers. Fuck the Lakers. I hate the Lakers. I hate LeBron. No, you're not going to go against your favorite player. You're not going to, all of a sudden, you're just going to fucking hate your favorite player? Come on. That's a bandwagon fan. Those are people I don't respect at all. You know? Or because one of your favorite guys leaves the WWE and goes to go wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling. What if Daniel Bryan left WWE? I'm a Daniel Bryan fan. What, am I going to hate Daniel Bryan because he's going to go wrestle in New Japan Pro Wrestling? Come on. Smarten up. Having Roman Reigns turn bad officially will not make any difference on who Roman Reigns is as a character on WWE. At least everything that he receives would be genuine and it would be warranted. His merchandise won't suffer. I don't think many people will defect from being a Roman Reigns fan. Why would you? If you love Roman Reigns, then you love Roman Reigns. But the people that don't like him would actually appreciate him a lot more because he is a fucking heel and he's portrayed as a heel. You can't get behind somebody. I don't understand how this has not registered with WWE yet. You can't get behind somebody when they are being portrayed as something they are not. That's why we boo. We're not closet lovers, okay? We're not closet lovers. So Roman Reigns, the fact that he says he's not bothered by these people, he sure is talking about it a lot, which means that he's probably bothered by it. Fuck out of here. Nothing but a goddamn puppet is Joe Anoa'i. Heel turn is exactly what we need at SummerSlam. Will it happen? Probably not, because it's the right thing to do, and WWE doesn't ever do what is right. Triple H comments on Neville's status with the WWE. I listened to the NXT Takeover Brooklyn conference call that Triple H had this week. I listened through Fightful.com and Sean Ross Sapp. How half of these fucking people make this conference call, man, I have no fucking idea. I mean, when you talk about blithering fucking idiots, you got to listen to the first 20 minutes of that NXT Takeover Brooklyn conference call, man. And then I wonder to myself how I am not on these conference calls as someone of better importance or greater importance than these fucking people. I don't know who these people are. I don't know where they came from. They could barely speak the English fucking language. They had the most ridiculous fucking questions, the most unprofessional questions for Triple H during an NXT Takeover conference call. I don't understand. The only people that stood out on that entire call were Mike Johnson, Wade Keller, or not Wade Keller, what's the guy from, not PW Torch, I forgot, Jason Powell, and Dave Meltzer. That was it. ProWrestling.net, Jason Powell. Those are the only three guys that I mentioned, or I knew of, and everybody else, I don't know how the fuck they made this conference call. One guy legitimately was on the conference call and told him his grievances about the main product, how he looks forward to TakeOver more than the main roster. He pretty much took what I say on this show and presented it to Triple H. How come you're not doing what you're doing in NXT on the main roster? How come we all look forward more to NXT than what happened on the main roster right now? And then Triple H had to give his political bullshit answer, of course. Well, there's some people that don't like what we do in NXT, but that's what makes our business so great. There's so many things. It caters to everybody. Blah, 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 blah. Triple H is not going to go out there and... I don't know why these people expect Triple H to give them the answer that they want. Do you honestly think Triple H is going to go on a conference call for his own show and shit on Vince McMahon? Are you that fucking mental? Yeah, Raw sucks. Yeah, what we're doing on Monday Night Raw, it's really not the direction I want to go in. Of course he's going to stand behind what they're doing. He is a WWE employee. How would that look for shareholders? Yeah, he's shitting on Monday Night Raw. What is this about? Come on, people. In that same call, Triple H actually answered a question about Neville and his status with the WWE. Triple H commented on Neville's current status with the WWE. Back in October, Neville was scheduled to lose to Enzo Amore, who was, by the time you see this, House of Glory would have been done and over with. But I'm recording this before House of Glory, so I will talk about House of Glory High Intensity 7 on Sunday's show. Enzo was at House of Glory, and he was scheduled to lose to Enzo Amore in a lumberjack match on Raw. Instead, Kalisto wrestled Amore after Neville decided to walk out of the company. WWE has since denied reports that Neville quit WWE. It was reported that Neville was frustrated by the direction of his character. It was also noted that WWE refused to grant Neville his release and froze his contract until both parties could come to an agreement. Neville cannot compete for any other promotion given that he's still technically under contract with the WWE. Several months ago, Neville moved back to the United Kingdom with his wife, fueling rumors that his time with WWE has come to an end. In a recent conference call to promote NXT Takeover Brooklyn, Triple H discussed Neville's current situation. This is what he had to say. I quote, "To be honest, I'm not 100% positive," Triple H said. "I would need to go back and look into that." Triple H was also asked about the possibility of Neville being used for the WWE UK shows. You are 100% right. Neville is one of the most talented guys in the world. I love the time that he spent with us in NXT. He did a great job of building up the Cruiserweight division on 205 Live. Time will see where that ends up. Neville can't do anything until he comes back to the WWE. WWE is not going to let him go. The longer he stays out, the more his contract is going to be frozen. So every single day that he has missed, he has to make back up on top of what his contract was already for. Or however time was remaining on his contract. He's got to make that up plus the time he's away. So his contract could have been over with. But he decided to walk away and WWE rightly froze his contract. So instead of just going out there and bearing it and doing what they ask of you and then telling them, fuck you, I'm going to sign somewhere else. Instead, he walked out. He tried to be he tried to do something that a lot of people wish that they could do, but can't. And it's hurting him in the end now, because instead of going to wrestle for New Japan or being on All In, he's sitting at home, and they froze his contract. He ain't being paid. I don't think he's being paid. And everything could have been done and over with if he just stood up for himself and said, I'm going to just get through this the best I can, and then we're going to move on. Goodbye to WWE. But if there's anybody to talk sense into Neville, it's Triple H. And there's more opportunity now for WWE to make it up to Neville than there has been. Triple H has taken over 205 Live. 205 Live, according to many, is probably the best in-ring show on WWE television. Along with NXT. Triple H is in charge of 205 Live. So if Neville comes back to 205 Live, he will be treated with love and care because Triple H is there, and Triple H is not going to let Neville suffer like Vince McMahon made him suffer. Neville could potentially be shifted to a Raw or SmackDown. I don't know on what planet you wouldn't want to see Neville versus a Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship, or a Neville versus a Finn Balor, or a Neville versus a Sami Zayn, or a Neville versus a Andrade Cien Almas, or a Neville versus an AJ Styles, or a Neville versus Daniel Bryan. I could go on and on and on. The guy should be competing at that level. That's how fucking good he is. So if WWE wanted to move him there, they could certainly do that. But I have a feeling that if he's on the main roster and in the hands of Vince McMahon, just because of what he did, they bury him. They would bury him. So his best bet is anything that Triple H has hands-on with. 205 Live, the WWE UK division. Can you imagine Pete Dunne versus Neville for the UK title? Tyler Bate versus Neville. Anybody versus Neville, really, at this point? That's probably a perfect fit for Neville. Those NXT UK shows. Which means NXT, and Triple H did mention that for at least a little bit until NXT UK gets standing on their own 2 feet, that there's going to be some cross-promotion. You're going to see some NXT UK on the American version of NXT. So if Neville goes to the UK NXT, we could see him on the American version of NXT. We could see him against a Ricochet dream match. Or Neville versus a Adam Cole. Or Neville versus a Velveteen Dream. Neville versus Aleister Black. Neville versus Johnny Gargano or Tommaso Ciampa. So Triple H did mention that there will be some cross-promotion for the time being until NXT UK is where he wants it to be. Because it's all under the NXT brand. But if there's one person to talk to Neville and get him back to us on some sort of WWE-related program, whether it be 205 Live, NXT, NXT UK, it's Triple H. And I honestly think when all is said and done, Triple H is going to bring Neville back to the WWE. I truly believe that. And I found it very interesting. That was one of the more interesting things on the entire conference call. Because a lot of people are still wondering about Neville. They want Neville back on WWE. Speaking of being back on WWE television, Chris Jericho is a free agent in 2019. It's no secret that Chris Jericho is now open to working for other promotions in North America. That is a change from his thinking just a few months ago, and it could be an indication that something has changed in his relationship with WWE. Dave Meltzer reported last week that people in Impact are under the belief that he will work with them in the future, and Jericho, being the current IWGP Intercontinental Champion, wrestling for New Japan, obviously will have some sort of working relationship with New Japan, but he will also probably be back in the United States when all is said and done. Jericho has been playing into the speculation on social media, and in a recent post on Twitter said that 2019 is going to be a very interesting year since he is a free agent. It would not surprise anyone if WWE offers him a ton of money to return in an effort to keep him away from Impact or Ring of Honor's big show in Madison Square Garden. Jericho isn't the only big name on the free agent market. The contracts for the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, are set to expire in a few months, and WWE is indeed interested in all those parties as well. This time around, they will be free to spend more money to get those names because of their huge TV deals with NBC Universal and Fox Sports. Juice Robinson is another name that WWE has shown interest in, but he said that he is not interested in going back. WWE has also shown interest in Shane Strickland, Pentagon Jr., and Rey Fenix. Listen, Jericho being a free agent in 2019, Jericho has this thing about trolling people. It's going to be a very interesting year. So obviously, him being the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, interesting year, maybe means to those idiots that maybe he's going to show up in Madison Square Garden. He is the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. We could see that. More likely, it should be defended on that show, depending on the magnitude of that show. Could be an interesting year in that. WWE, honestly, I honestly think it's Jericho, meaning, and it's going to be an interesting year in 2019 because he's going to make more money than he ever has before in his entire life because of the way wrestling is going on into 2019 and how sought after he's going to be and how WWE is going to try and keep him away from Impact and Ring of Honor New Japan. That's what it means. It's going to be a very interesting year. It's going to be a very interesting year when he sits down with WWE and they give him more money than he could count. That's what it means. Jericho's not going to Impact. Jericho's not going to be at Madison Square Garden. Jericho has already outwardly admitted that he is not going to work for another rival promotion in the United States as long as he is alive because of Vince McMahon and the respect for Vince McMahon. I do believe Jericho on that. He's not going to be at the G1 Supercard. He wasn't at the Long Beach shows in California for New Japan. He's not going to be in Impact Wrestling. They are still a North American-based company. They have TV deals here in North America. He's not going to any of those promotions. Jericho, it's going to be an interesting year because he's a free agent. And it's an interesting year because when Vince sits him down, Vince is going to do everything he can to get him back on television and sign an exclusive deal with the WWE. Exclusivity means more money than Mr. Jericho could ever make with his podcast or Fozzy or any other promotion. So that's what interesting year for Jericho means in 2019. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this. Renee Young on commentary on Monday Night Raw. I enjoyed her. I enjoy Renee Young. I think she's one of the more genuine, non-robotic entities in WWE. Renee Young's future on commentary for Monday Night Raw. Renee Young made history earlier this week when she became the first woman in WWE history to commentate a full episode of Monday Night Raw. Young joined veteran commentators Corey Graves and Michael Cole this Monday at the booth. She received good reviews from fans on social media, with some even saying they prefer Young over Jonathan the Shill Coachman. Young is also slated to commentate for the Mae Young Classic tournament, which is set to begin next month. She has some experience calling WWE events such as NXT and Superstars in the past, and her performance on Raw this Monday, fans began to wonder if Young will be featured more regularly as a commentator on either Raw or SmackDown Live. According to a report from Ryan Satin and Pro Wrestling Sheet, there are currently no plans to have Young become a regular member of the Raw commentary team. It was noted, however, that WWE brass were impressed with her performance on Monday. Young is also reportedly interested in doing more commentary work for WWE if the opportunity arises. I thought Renee Young did a good job. You can tell that she was a little nervous. You can tell that she kind of took a step back from, what Jonathan Coachman would have done. She assessed everything. She gave points, wasn't overbearing when she gave points. Her voice is much more enjoyable to listen to than Jonathan Coachman. I think Jonathan Coachman's a fucking idiot. It was great hearing Coach for the first couple of weeks, and then obviously he fit right into that fucking role as WWE shill. But Renee Young, I don't mind Renee Young being there. I think it's a new look. It's a different look. It's a great look. The only thing I did not like about Renee Young on commentary was that she, when a big move happened and Michael Cole and Corey Graves are going back and forth, she would always yell out, "Oh!" It's like a protocol for WWE to do these yelps. "Oh! Oh my!" Shit like that. Or shit like that when someone else is talking. Like, why do you have to do that? I never understood that at all. I don't do that when I do commentary. When my guy Shapiro's talking, I don't do a like I'm having a fucking orgasm. Oh! It's fucking retarded. I don't hear anybody in NXT doing that. That's the only thing I didn't like about Renee Young. Other than that, I thought she was fine. Much better than Jonathan Coachman. Much better than Jonathan Coachman. Get Coachman off Raw. He is absolutely insufferable to listen to. Anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. What a show, man. Holy shit. If you guys are going to be in town, man, again, I stress, come on out to 4th Avenue Pub. It is at 76 4th Avenue. I'll leave you guys the RSVP down below. Come on out. Let's get this bar packed with goons. NXT Takeovers tonight. Share a fine craft beer with me, and we'll talk WWE, man. Join me today from 2 to 5. I'll be there. And then, I don't know if I'm going to take over. I've had a few people that I know personally offer me tickets, and I have not heard of these tickets yet, or I haven't seen these tickets materialize, so we'll see what happens. But I will be at 4th Avenue Pub from 2 to 5, and then I will be at 205th from 3 to 6 with Justin LaBar tomorrow. So please make sure you guys come on out and support. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the final part of this weekend's Off the Script. It's not going to be any news. We're just going to go over the speculation and the rumors, the biggest rumors going into SummerSlam, getting you guys ready for SummerSlam tomorrow night. I'm JD. Thank you guys so much for everything, and I will see you all tomorrow for part 3 of Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.